Hi everyone, this is Dr. Wendy Sweet from Menopause Transformation. It's spring in New Zealand and I'm beaming at you outside for a reason. And the reason is because I want to emphasize the importance of vitamin D for our menopause symptoms. It's one of the issues that I really think gets a little bit lost as we come through our perimenopause, menopause and post-menopause transition. I found that myself, but when I did my research on women's healthy aging through the menopause transition, I was really fascinated with the number of studies that spoke about this incredible hormone. Now, even though I'm mentioning vitamin D, University of Edinburgh studies show that this is a hormone now that has really powerful effects around the body. I didn't know this when I came through my own menopause transition, and certainly I don't think that my wonderful doctor did at the time either, because she didn't do any blood tests. But the more that I was reading about vitamin D deficiency in menopause, there's articles after articles after articles, particularly around muscle damage following exercise, particularly around the changes to our blood vessels as we come through menopause, and certainly around our sleep and our weight gain. And all of these factors start to become worse, or our symptoms start to become worse if our vitamin D is low. The role of vitamin D is critical for a number of processes in the body, none less than the fact that it helps to absorb calcium, and this occurs in our small intestine. So for many of you who end up with gut health problems as you come through your menopause transition, it may be that you're just not absorbing enough calcium, and this may be exacerbated when vitamin D levels are low. It's such an important transaction for so many processes around the body. And of course, our skin is changing. Many of you will have found that your skin has become a bit dry, and perhaps you're not outside as much. For those of you living in areas that have got a very high and hot sunshine hours, many of you in Australia, I've got a lot of you up in the Northern Territory, Perth, Queensland. These are areas whereby we don't want to be outside, particularly in summer. And of course, we also are concerned about skin and the changes to our skin with the effect of the sun. However, what we need to do is we need to find some balance. And the balance occurs with trying to get some sun exposure in the morning, allow some sunlight on your skin that isn't harmful, obviously, and also keep an eye on your vitamin D levels. It's so important for many of our symptoms, from hot flush management to sleep, and also for those of you who have put on a lot of weight. One of the most kind of curious connections between low vitamin D and weight gain is that vitamin D is a fat soluble hormone. This means that it's carried around the body with fat. So we've got a number of fat soluble hormones: vitamin D, vitamin A, E and K. So as part of this process for women who are obese or have put on a lot of weight, or have got a lot of belly fat or diaphragmatic fat, as I found myself, and the breasts tend to get a bit larger as well, what can happen is that you're storing a lot of vitamin D within those fat cells. Those fat cells are called adipocytes, and therefore your actual some of your blood work may actually be a little bit low. And of course, what we have to do is we have to keep an eye on that, get some blood tests done through your doctor, and actually see what your vitamin D levels are. So for those of you who are overweight or obese as you come through menopause, then please be aware of that. There's a lot of cardiovascular research that has shown that the deep tissue fat, the visceral fat, may actually, create these vitamin D receptors that attach to our fat cells, making vitamin D around the body and its role around the body less effective. So it's quite an interesting phenomenon that goes on, particularly as women do put on, for those women who do put on a lot of weight as they come through menopause. there's so many, kind of factors that impact on our menopause transition. And what I've done as part of my doctoral studies, I've set up my Menopause Transformation. These are 12-week programs. There's 2 different ones depending on body type. And within those programs, you get to progressively step through how to use lifestyle solutions to turn around your symptoms. And for those of you who are on the Transform Me program or are interested in losing weight with the Transform Me program, then I teach you all of the strategies to turn around your weight and start to stop gaining first and foremost, because we cannot lose weight until we stop gaining, and then progressively lose weight as well. So I have these fabulous programs. The website is called My Menopause Transformation. You'll get to learn about vitamin D. You'll get to learn about the blood tests that you need to discuss with your doctor. And for those of you who are on hormone medication, HRT, or you're on antidepressants, which is another medication, or you're on different supplements, then I want you also to learn about the lifestyle solutions, because it's those lifestyle solutions that will carry you into your post-menopause years. And if we don't get those lifestyle solutions right, and we don't make a bit of a change to our lifestyle to allow our body to adapt to these changing hormones, then many women find they reach their 60s and their symptoms are still, kind of impacting on their day-to-day life. So join me if you can. I've got a fabulous coaching group. There's thousands of women in there from around the world. I'm the only one that works in that coaching group, and so therefore you're getting really relevant, scientifically evidenced advice, and it's just such a privilege to be able to share my knowledge with so many women around the world. I'm Dr. Wendy Sweet. My PhD has been in women's healthy aging. I've really focused on the menopause transition because this is such an important time of our lives, and I really had no idea myself about all of the changes that are going on around the body, particularly the fact that we need some vitamin D. And for those of you going in the northern hemisphere going into winter, please be aware that that's just such an important factor in terms of your symptom management as well.